This is How to Build a Queen Size Farmhouse Bed by Shelby Perkins. So after going to the furniture store several times when I first moved into my apartment, I was unable to find a bed that I felt like was of high quality and that I liked. So what I ended up doing is designing and building my own. So I started off on Google looking at pictures of beds, and then I found one that looked easy enough for me to do, measured my mattress, and then drew up plans for it. And the results are what I'm going to show you today, how to build the bed using my measurements for a queen size bed. In the end, it cost me less than $500, and that's like at the expensive local hardware store. And it didn't take that long, just a couple of hours over a couple of days. So the first step is to go shopping. This is exactly what you'll need if you're going to build the same size bed as me. You could also adjust the bed for different sizes, but we're going to do a queen in this. If you don't have a hammer, if you don't have a screwdriver, if you don't have a saw to cut the wood, you either need to add that onto your shopping list or make a friend who does have those things, because you do need them for this project. When you go to the store, what I recommend that you do is print off this list and just hand it to the sales associate, because then they'll do all the work for you. You won't have to search around and try to find all the wood, which is really hard because I get lost in the wood section. So it's massive, the wood section, so you can't find anything. Just have someone do it for you. And then make sure that you have a vehicle big enough to hold all this stuff. When I built this bed, I went with a little short bed truck, and I couldn't get it all home, so keep that in mind before you go shopping. Once you go shopping, you're going to bring everything home, get it into your garage, or if you're doing it outside, just get it all in the same area and make all your cuts first at the same time. So if you do it all at once, it gets it out of the way, and then you can clean up and kind of have more space for building the bed. It makes things a little less crowded. So once you make your cuts, the first step is to build the footboard. So the footboard comes first because only one side shows, so if you mess up on the other side, it's not a big deal. Just make one side look good. So on a clean surface, you're going to want to lay out all of the B pieces, which are the shorter panels, and butt them up against each other. So you want to squeeze them together nice and tight. And then lay 2 C pieces on the top and the bottom. And so you can see in the picture what's labeled as a C piece, and it goes across the top of the panels that are all next to each other. And then you're going to want to put one on the bottom as well. Put 2 nails in each, and then flip the headboard over and do the same thing on the other side. After you do that, if you're going to paint it, I would recommend countersinking the nails in. So how you do that is just take a tapper or another nail, put it on the nail head, and then tap it down so it's underneath the surface of the wood. That way you can fill it in with putty and then paint over it, and no one will know that there's nails there. So the next step, attach the E posts to either side of the footboard, so one on each end, and you're screwed in at the thickest part, and I'd recommend doing as many screws as you can fit. Same thing if you want to countersink your screws in and then go over it with wood putty, you won't even know that they're there when you paint over it. If you're going to stain it, I would just leave the screws right at the surface of the wood. I stained it in my picture with a dark stain. So the next step is you're going to want to attach the F and the G to the top. So F goes first right across the top. It should be flush with the edge of the posts, and then the G goes on top of that, and just screw it down in where the posts are. The headboard is basically the same thing. The only difference is that it's a little bigger. So you're going to be using the A panels instead of the instead of the B. Lay them all together on a clean surface. put the C pieces on either end, nail those in with 2 nails per panel. You're going to want to attach the post. These will be the D ones, they're the taller posts, and screw those in with your 4.5-inch screws. And then you're going to put, again, the F piece right on top of that, should be flush with the edge of the posts, and then the G piece on top of that. So the next step, once you have your headboard and your footboard, is to build the frame. So you're going to want to take the eye pieces, you should have 2 of those, and lay them on the ground. And when I did it, they actually stood up by themselves, so it was really easy. And then you'll take your 6 H pieces and evenly space them along in between the eye pieces, leaving about a 4-inch overhang on the headboard, because that's where you're going to attach the headboard, the frame to the headboard. So you'll screw those in. If you're not going to use a box spring, this is where you'll need more. So the H pieces that run horizontal in the picture there, you're going to want to double the amount that you have to support your bed if you don't have a box spring. But it'll work if you don't have a box spring, just add more. So the next step is assembling the bed. The way to do it is find something that's the appropriate height. So when I did it, my frame ended up being just about 1 soup can off the ground. So I put a soup can under each corner of the bed to hold it up, and then I just held the footboard up against it and screwed it in. And then same thing, the bed frame will slide right inside the headboard, and you can just screw it in. The sturdier the better. I actually found that on my bed I had to reinforce it with metal. So as you can see in the picture on the right hand side, it's got that little metal 90-degree angle to make it a little stronger. So you might have to do that, might not. There's no prettier way to fix that I've thought of. So after that, you're done with your bed. You can paint it or stain it. Either way, it looks great. And so far I've had mine for probably a year and I haven't had any trouble. So this bed really is going to hold up. It still looks great, and it was way less expensive than anything I found in the store. Thank you for watching.